Ooh. Oh boy, we have a reason to celebrate today. Let me get comfy here. Yesterday was very satisfying, to say the least. Very satisfying for many reasons. And I'll get into those reasons in a second. But Miami dominates the Florida Gators. They march up to the swamp. Lots of new personnel, lots of new players. A lot of people are wondering, are we going to be rusty week one? It's Cam Ward's first game with a new offense. It's a rivalry, 90,000 people. A lot of uncertainty. A lot of people, including myself, thought this was going to be a closer game. But Miami marched right up there and did what Miami made a history of doing. They went up there and stomped the Florida Gators. This was not a game from pretty much the opening whistle. I mean, this game was basically over by the half. I know it was only 24-10, but you knew the game was done at the half. When Kiko got that sack on Graham Mertz, which, by the way, I'm sure Mertz knows his damn name now. That was very satisfying, by the way. When he got that sack, it was a wrap in that moment. But I see a lot of the comments. And by the way, if you're watching or if you watch this later, I appreciate you guys who were at the watch party coming up, saying hi, introducing yourself if I hadn't met you yet, or if I had met you at tailgates or past events, coming up and saying hi. I really appreciate that. Thank you for that, showing your support and everything. But without any further ado, let me just jump into some stats for this game. I'm going to enjoy reading this, by the way, so I'm going to take my time. So total offense for the Canes, 529 yards of offense. Cam Ward, 385 passing yards. 26 of 35, that's good for 74%. 3 touchdowns, only 1 INT. A PFF passing grade of 90.3, which, if you know PFF ratings, anything above a 90 is considered elite. Not good, not great, elite. I don't know if you caught Mario's press conference, but he basically said, yeah, Cam is just scratching the surface. Like, you haven't seen anything yet. Xavier Restrepo, who might have been the best player on the field for either team. 7 catches for 112 yards and a touchdown. Put one of the Gator defenders in the spin cycle. Elijah Arroyo, nice to see him back. Almost flirted with 100 yards yesterday. Had 4 catches for 89 yards, all big catches, all in big moments. Huge day for Arroyo. Great to have him back. Speaking of tight ends, Elijah Lofton had, messed around and got himself 38 yards of offense. So you'll see him incorporated into the offense more. I love that play where he was just dragging Gator defenders. That was great. Jacoby with another beautiful touchdown grab in the back of the end zone. To me, that was really like the backbreaker for them. And to talk about that play for a second, I don't know if you guys thought the same thing I did when Cam, it looked like he was about to get sacked. He rolls out of the pocket, rolls to his left. It was 3rd and long. We're already kind of in field goal range. I'm thinking, okay, he's probably, I was yelling at the TV, run, run, run. I thought maybe he'd run for like 5 yards and run out of bounds, get us a little closer for the field goal, and we take an Andy Borregales 3-pointer and move on. I thought that's what was going to happen. I'm not used to this. So when Cam rolls out, he stops, turns his body, throws an absolute dime to the back of the end zone, and hits Jacoby George in stride. I'm not used to this. Okay. Like that. Yes, Sigmund. What touchdown was better, Cam to George or Sanders to Hunter? I'm going to say this one, the one I'm talking about right now, because that was absolutely a backbreaker for the Gators. That the game was really done at that point. If not, if the Kiko sack wasn't indicative of the game being over, this one definitely was. I mean, this put it, I think, 38-10. It was really out of reach at that point. I mean, just threw an absolute dot to the back of the end zone. Great play. Mark Fletcher had a couple of touchdowns. Great to see him back in there, see him fully healthy. I know there was some doubts that, he might not make the first game. I always had a feeling that he might be ready for little clues I heard throughout the offseason. And then when it was finally said that he's 100% ready to go, I'm like, yeah, I had a feeling. Love the hustle and gang tackling. Yes, we will get to the defense in a second, but I wanted to mention this as well. Not only do we have 529 total yards to the Gators 261. Again, great job by the defense, but 10 different guys caught passes for Miami. 10. Okay, we really spread the wealth. Cam did not just zero in on one guy. He spread it around. Yes, Xavier Restrepo was your leading receiver for feels like the thrillionth time. But that's because he's that good. He gets open. Sorry to tell you, if you're open, I'm going to hit you. So 10 different guys caught passes. That was pretty incredible. And the last thing on the offense here, big shout out to the offensive line. I mean, what Coach Mirabal has done with this offensive line in these last two seasons. You look at the O-line in 2022, opening game in 2022 to now. It is literally night and day different. The size, the athleticism, the talent level, the depth. I mean, we just out-muscled them. Bit of a stalemate in the trenches first quarter or so, but then our running backs started bouncing it outside. But most of our damage was done through the air. In pass protection, oh my God. I mean, Cam Ward looked like he had time to check his Twitter, to go to the bathroom, get a cup of coffee, and then come back onto the field and complete a pass. He had all day to throw the ball. And another thing about Cam, he was so calm back there. That's one thing that jumped out at me. He was so calm. But yeah, big shout out to the offensive line. Ben, if you're listening, if you're listening right now, or if you watch this later, I was talking to him right before the game. We were right in front of one of the TVs, and I was telling him, listen, I think this game's going to come down to this. If our line keeps Cam Ward clean, if they give him time, this game is a wrap. This game's over. I don't see how they beat us if Cam has time to throw. And he agrees. He's like, yeah, just keep him clean. And that's exactly what they did. I can remember a handful of times that Cam got a little pressure off the edge or something, and he was able to escape the pocket. And here's a crazy concept. If nothing's there, how about you throw the ball away? There was a few times where Cam just rolled out, and he had the arm to just flick it out of bounds into the stands. So that was fantastic to see. So let's move on to the defense. So you heard that they, what I just said, they held them to 261 yards of total offense, which is incredible. To hold any team nowadays to under 300 yards is really impressive. On defense, to me, defensive player of the game was Jaden Harris. 7 tackles, half a sack, almost stripped the ball. I mean, he was going for the strip. He knocked down a big pass on fourth down that he should have picked off, but actually it was better that he didn't. We would have lost yardage. That was a huge fourth down stop. Then he got an INT to really just cap off his day from the seat of his pants. It was hilarious. Simeon Barrow came in, tipped the pass that was coming out of Lagway's hand, floated up in the air, and he's sitting on his butt, and it came right to him. It was great. Really happy for Jaden. I know he's put in that work. And any concern, any concern I had about the secondary is gone. I know it's just one game, and I'm going to try not to read too much into it because it's just one game. I'll get into that in a second. But one specific aspect I am really excited about just from this one game, any concerns I had about the secondary are gone. I know Damari got a little nicked up and missed most of the game. Hopefully he's okay. But here's the good part. Damari came off the field. You didn't even notice. You still had O.J. Frederick out there. You still had Jadis Richard. You still had, who else? You still had Jaden Harris, Mish Powell. Everybody doing their job, right? Didn't really sense that he wasn't on the field. The 2 times they tested Damari didn't work out well for the Gators. I remember at the watch party actually yesterday, Flo kept yelling, they're trying the wrong guy. They're trying the wrong guy. Talking about Damari. So hopefully his thing is minor and he's back soon. But I know Cristobal did mention Bain. Speaking of guys that missed time, Bain came out in like the first quarter, didn't come back for the rest of the game. He mentioned it was a soft tissue thing that might take like a week or two. So that was a huge relief to hear. Bain is obviously a huge part of this team. And there are going to be, I think, a couple of tougher games later in the season. Obviously, FSU being the one everybody has circled. Maybe that Louisville game on the road. You're going to want Ruben Bain healthy for those. And it's good to at least hear for now that it doesn't think it's anything serious. But speaking of the rest of the defensive guys, Kiko, 6 tackles, 1.5 tackles for loss, and a very satisfying sack again of Graham Mertz after Mertz talked all that smack before the game. Tyler Barron, he had a big sack in the game. He had a couple of QB hits, just constant pressure, constant waves of pressure from that one guy all day. Gator fans are talking a lot of smack about him too, that the 2 times they played him, they held him in check, and yeah, fine, whatever. But who was next to him on the D-line? You know, these things require context. The entire D-line just got insane pressure. The consistent pressure. You didn't see it too much first quarter, but as the game went, you could see it starting to wear them down. And it's, you know, by the third quarter, I mean, Mertz was running for his life. But yeah, let me catch up with some of these comments here. Ooh, you guys are chatty today. Let's go. John's Grace. Yes. Great seeing you, sir. What a win. It's great having a QB that looks like that again. Yeah, absolutely. Firefighter Kane. Let's go Canes. We did it. Riley Williams was on some plays as a blocker that we were successful. Yes, he was. Hopefully Bain's injury is truly minor. You can rest it for ACC play. It sounds like that's what it is. What's up, John? The party was great. The party was fantastic. Yeah, and it was great meeting you, by the way, as well as everybody else that I got to meet or got to see again. Again, if I met you at a previous one, it was good seeing you a second or third time. Let's see. Insanity. It was insane at the game. You could feel the hate all over. Yeah. So, Firefighter, did you go to the game? I think I saw you post a picture with like Javon Curse or something. I think that was you. Let's see. All indications that all injuries yesterday were minor. That's good to hear. Joaquin said dominate, and we did. Yes, sir. Okay. If we play like this all season, I don't see us losing to anybody. Yeah, look, that's my only concern now is keep it up. Keep your foot on the gas because, yes, this was a test. More than anything, it was a test because of where we were playing and the fact that it was week 1 and it's the first game. All these new pieces are together, especially Cam Ward. Couldn't have gone better for him, his debut, especially with all these other teams in week 0 and week 1 looking so rusty and all the upsets that we saw. It was good to see Cam just pretty much pick up where he left off at Washington State, just with a new, more talented supporting cast. But that being said, Florida, are they a great team? No. Are they an awful team? Are they a team as bad as we made them look? I don't think so. I think they're a decent team. They still have Florida athletes. They still have Florida speed. Graham Mertz might have been exposed as a quarterback, which I've been saying for a while. He's, he's okay. He'll beat you if you let him, but it's a lot of checkdowns. There's a lot of quick, short stuff, just open field tackle, just tackle in space and you're going to be fine. And we did that. But it was good to go up to an SEC opponent's house where a lot of people are thinking, yeah, Miami on paper, they have the better roster, but it's an SEC team. A lot of people are saying that, but, Miami pretty much changed that whole, but it's an SEC team narrative last year when they, kick Texas A&M's butt. But this time we went into their house, and it's a rivalry game. And the fact that there were so many top recruits at the game watching. By the way, Florida, thank you for that, for hosting all those recruits, and they can witness us, kicking their butt. But that couldn't have gone better. But just to get over that hump and make no mistake, I know if you're not too familiar with the Florida-Miami rivalry. Yes, they don't play very often. That's part of the reason it is a rivalry. They used to be on our schedule up until 1987. I want to say was the last time the last time we played them, like every year. In 87, we opened the season against them in the Orange Bowl, and we beat them 31-4. I know what you're thinking. How do you get 4 points? They got 2 safeties on, I think punts that were snapped over their head or something. That was the only way they could score. Our defense just dominated them. And then they took us off their schedule, and we didn't face them again, I think, until 2000, the Sugar Bowl. So we beat them in the Sugar Bowl in 2000. 2002, we stomped them in the Swamp, 41-16, which is eerily similar to the score of yesterday. 2003 was, of course, the big comeback in the Orange Bowl by Brock Berlin. We were down 33-10, and he brought us back for the victory. 2004 in the Peach Bowl, we blew them out. 2008 was the Tebow year. They beat us. We beat them in 2013. They beat us in 2019. And we beat them in 2024. So 6 of the last 8 matchups we have beaten Florida. And not only beaten Florida, you notice a trend. We've not only beaten them, we've pretty much dominated them in most of those wins. So, just saying. For the young guys in the chat, this is how it used to be done in the old days. Yes, well said, Rocky. But anyway, what I was saying about the Florida rivalry, make no mistake, these 2 programs hate each other. The 2 fan bases hate each other. The former players hate each other. I know might not be as intense as the Miami-Florida State rivalry, but there's this weird little kind of respect with Florida State because they kept us on their schedule, and we play them every single year. So, yeah, you beat us. You got bragging rights for 1 year, as Mario said. The bragging rights last for 1 year. Then you get to face off again. But for so many reasons, I know, did we beat a top 5 team? No, but it was a test. It was a mental test for this team, and it was a way to show where the program was at. And I think we did that. We showed that this team is starting to look like more of an SEC team, more of, SEC size, SEC speed, athleticism, and you got now the quarterback to go with it. So definitely, to ask, hey, has this program turned the corner? I think it's an emphatic yes, they've turned the corner. They started turning the corner last year. I just think they had a quarterback that really held them back. And that's another thing I wanted to touch on. The whole argument of, hey, is Shannon Dawson holding this offense back? Is it Mario? He took the reins of the play calling. Is it because, of TVD, or is it more X's and O's in the play calling? I think we got our answer yesterday. You saw a return to a little bit more of the creative play calling. I don't think we held too much close to the vest, but I don't think we released the whole playbook either. But we showed some stuff, and we got a little more creative, especially with the running game. For example, I love the run by Mark Fletcher, where you have somebody in motion going right, little eye candy, get them looking that way. And then Sam Brown, after the snap, comes the other way. He comes left, lead blocking for Mark Fletcher, lays a perfect block, and Fletcher walks right in. That's the kind of stuff I like to see. Even though, the running game shouldn't just be block the guy in front of you and that's it. That's when Rhett Lashley was here. It was super vanilla, and that's why it was so predictable. And guys just started shooting gaps. But I liked the creativity. I liked the little tunnel screens. Like, for example, the one that Sam Brown dropped that Florida thought they had a fumble recovery. That one would have gone for big yards had he caught it. And, the one to Cam McCormick that tight end, kind of delayed. He slips out on a drag route and he gets wide open. Just Shannon Dawson called an awesome game yesterday. If I had to give him a grade, I'd give him an A. I would give him an A. He called an amazing game. Lance Guidry, I'd probably give him an A+. He called an amazing game as well. And it's big to have both your coordinators back. I think we showed why. I mean, the second year under Guidry, look how tight, look how solid the defense played. Aside from the one run, the 71-yard run that they had, I think it was in the second quarter. That was it. Their whole offensive production, the Gators' whole offensive production was literally one play. And that's because he happened to roll the dice and throw a blitz at them from one end. They happened to run the other way, and it was a perfect call against that blitz. And, somebody was late going with him, and bye-bye. He went the distance. But I remember being pretty calm when that happened. Like, it took kind of a fluky play for you guys to score. Aside from that, you guys have done nothing, like absolutely nothing. So that was great to see. You just see stability now, which is great. Arroyo special. Yeah, I agree with that, Rocky. Those are the three best players. And if you can give a game ball to the entire offensive line, I would do the same. Again, Carpenter looked good at center. The running backs, pass protection, Jordan Lyle threw some nice blocks. That's another guy that oh my God, I can't wait to see him develop. I mean, once Fletcher's gone, Lyle's going to take right over. Offensively, I thought we looked pretty clean, have a confident quarterback, defensive, fast and aggressive, really nice tone setter to start the season. Yes. Oh, and this is what I wanted to highlight also. The hustle and the gang tackling. You saw it on that first third down stop, I want to say, where we had a TFL that Damari shot in. He got like that initial penetration on the play. I don't think he made the tackle, but he made the running back stop and change direction. And then everybody swarmed in. There ended up being like 6 canes, like piling on top of the ball carrier by the time the play was over. When the defense was great, when we were dominating, when we were holding like these juggernaut offenses of Oklahoma and Nebraska back in the day to like 90-something yards for the game, that's why. Not only were we faster than them, yes, we were more athletic and faster, but we also hustled to the damn ball. You saw waves of defenders just coming to the ball carrier, and you saw a lot of that yesterday. Hard to miss a tackle when there's like 5 of you trying to bring them down. I mean, you can be a little sloppy and get away with it if you guys are just hustling to the ball. See, players of the game on defense. Let's see what Rocky says here. Tyler Barron, Mish Powell, and Jaden Harris. If I had to pick 3, yeah, definitely Tyler Barron and Jaden Harris. I would probably, Mish played great, but I'd probably say Kiko was my other one. He played awesome too. Very disruptive, made a bunch of big stops. He's taken a step forward since last year. There are 2 veterans that I think are leaders on this team, him and X. And I thought, man, if you get the same production from last year to this year, that's huge for us. I think they've both taken a step forward, which is crazy. Let's see. Sanders playing freaking NDSU. Yeah. Colorado's playing a D2 team, basically. Love the mix on offense. I did too. So I predicted 38-3, and I stuck with it. You were not far off, Rocky. If not for a busted play, they did score another garbage touchdown, when the backups were in. But yeah, it wasn't far from being that, Rocky. Let's pack the house for hope. Yes. Let's pack the house. I don't know if it will be, but Saturday night game after a big win like this, why can't it be? 6 p.m. start. You get, a few hours to get your tailgating in. Next week at Hard Rock is going to be a party. I can't wait for it. We're going to see a lot of the freshmen get in and get some playing time. Hopefully Chris Johnson will get some burn. That's someone I've been waiting to see. I can't wait till they unleash him. But because we got this win now, next weekend is going to be a party at Hard Rock Stadium. I predicted 41-17 almost. I predicted 41-17. I got the receipts export. Yeah, no, you're not the only one. A few prominent people on Twitter and stuff predicted 41-17 or 41-16. You predicted, man. So you predicted the 2002 score basically. You were off by 1 point. Crazy improvement. Mario implementation of the culture is unreal. He's done a great job. Yeah, you can say whatever you want on in-game management, but my God, this is night and day difference from 2 years ago. And I will say this: timeout usage. Whoever he hired to be like the new timeout game management coach or whatever, or analyst, it's already paying dividends, because there was one point in the game where Mario called the timeout right before a big fourth down that we ended up getting the stop that Jaden Harris almost got the pick. That was a great call. That was a great timeout. Great timeout, because I think Florida was kind of basically going no huddle. They were going right up to the ball. He calls the timeout. Great usage of it, because you can calm your guys down before the fourth down play. I mean, Graham Mertz is definitely not a quarterback that scares you, so you don't mind giving him that extra time, but give your defense a quick break, a quick breather, let them settle down. It's the first half, so you don't have to save your timeouts as much. That was a great call. One thing I didn't agree with, having Cam Ward in as long as he did. I know Cam didn't want to come out of the game. He finally pulled him out with like a minute to go. I would have pulled him out with like 8 minutes to go. Like, he doesn't need to be in there anymore. Hopefully he does more of that as the season goes, like pull him out a little earlier. No reason for him to be in. I mean, Cam's fine, so it ended up working out. But in those blowouts, I would pull him a little sooner. Couldn't ask for a better first game, especially in the swamp. That George TD was cold. Yes, it was. Again, that broke the game wide open. Let's pack the house with a home opener. Great balance on both sides of the ball. Gidry's the friggin' man. I love Gidry. Yes, sir. Okay, you did go to the game. Met the free. Yeah, man. Javon Curse. Talk about like literal freak. I don't know if you guys saw before the game kicked off. He was like the honorary captain. Dude looks like he can play right now. I think he's like in his late 40s. Dude looks jacked. Like they called him the freak for a reason. He was actually, once he was a pro, I think he was a Titan. Yeah, he played on those Titan teams with like Eddie George and all those guys. He was one of my favorite NFL players at the time. Let's see. Our test will be VTech. Even though they struggled, well, not just struggled, they lost to Vanderbilt in overtime, I think we're going to get VTech's best shot. We always do. So I agree with you. They have to be ready for that game. How far do we move up? Ooh, this is a fun talk. This is a fun argument. How far do we move up? Are we top 10 after this game? I think we'll jump up to like 12th, to be honest with you. It's one game. But whenever a team has a great quarterback, the people who do the voting for this sort of thing, they tend to like those teams that have the great quarterback. They like that team's chances. So we might jump to 10. We might crack the top 10. Who knows? Let's see. But I think we'll jump to like 11th or 12th. I think our test will be at Louisville. I agree. That's at Louisville and at home against Florida State are our two toughest tests remaining. But that's the thing. We can't just look at it as like, oh, those are the only two hard games. No, look, every week is a test. They got to stay focused the entire time all the way through. They can't lose focus. Yeah. We need everybody to pack the rock, home opener, blah, blah, blah. Uh-huh. I agree. Louisville will be the next one. Virginia Tech is garbage. Don't let them, like I said, we're going to get VTech's best shot. They always have a weird early season loss that literally happens every year with VTech. Don't let that fool you, is all I'm saying. Moten called the swamp a kiddie pool. Yes, he did. 2019 was ugly. Yeah, I remember that. I remember that 2019 game. That was a very ugly one. That was the year that I honestly thought they made the wrong decision at quarterback. N'Kosi Perry should have been the quarterback the entire season. Let's see if I'm missing anything. Bain and Brown issues are soft tissue injuries. Rodriguez has an ankle sprain. Okay. Doesn't sound like anything is serious, which is good. That is really good to hear. Let's see if I missed anything. Category 5. I don't think he's ever going to take a knee. Martinez hesitates a little too much for my taste. Yeah, I saw him hesitating a lot in the backfield. That's because he didn't really have a hole to run through. If you look at the replay, I mean, where was he going to go? But let's see when he has actual holes to run through. Let's see. But Florida, I will give them credit early in the game. They actually did a pretty good job plugging up holes, and it was kind of stalemating our offensive line early. That went out the window by the second quarter. But yeah, that Martinez didn't. I feel like he didn't have much room to run, but he still got some yards. Facts. That goes for the QB and the rest of the starters. Oh, you're talking about pulling the starters when it's a blowout? I agree. Is Hurricane Bane okay? It sounds like it's minor from everything we're hearing so far. And from what the coach said, obviously. It sounds like that's minor. I don't think Cristobal addressed specifically Damari, but everyone's saying that seems minor too. So we'll see. I say we will be at 11. Okay, let's see what happens when the polls come out. One game, yes. I agree with Hoodie Girl here. One game at a time, keep it going. Don't get too high, don't get too low. Yes, it was an amazing win. It feels great to stomp a rival the way we did and how emphatically we did it and how just pretty much everything in the game went our way. You got to, have your time to celebrate, but then focus on the next game. Yes, I know the next game is FAMU, but you got to take it as seriously as every other game. Okay, you can't have that letdown. I'm not saying there's a risk of a loss in any way. I'm just saying I don't want to see any letdowns game to game. After an emotional win like that, you got to come in business-like mentality, put 50, 60 points on them, and just move on to the next game and focus on Ball State. Are you going to the opener? Yes, I am. I will be there. I watched the ham. It fell asleep at halftime. Woke up. It was 38-17. Were you like fresh off of a shift? Is that why? Let's see. Did I miss anything else? Our O-line needs to be at the run game. Martinez, Arroyo, CJ stand for a touchdown at the opener. Oh, for sure. No, I had the flu. Oh, damn. Okay. Well, hope you feel better soon. G-Tech and Louisville are our toughest games left. I 100% agree. And actually, when I did my season prediction, I predicted us to go 10-2. Those are the two losses I had at Louisville and at Georgia Tech. We're going to spank FSU's ass. Revenge game for Mario. Yeah, I'm feeling right now. I know we only have a 1-game sample size, but oh my God, do I feel a lot more confident about that game now. I mean, I felt confident going into the season because I saw how hard we fought in that game last year in Tallahassee with basically no quarterback. There was literally no threat of a pass, and look how well we ran the ball in that game. And it was a 1 touchdown game in their house. They've downgraded their roster. We've upgraded. And it's in our house. Logic tells you that's ours to win. But now, after I've seen each team play 1 game, I feel even more confident. But again, I don't want to get too ahead of myself. I'm just saying I'm confident for now. Let's see how the season progresses. FAMU throws a lot, expect a ton of sacks by the defense. I mean, if the defense comes to play the way they did against the Gators, I mean, you're always a little more amped up for a rivalry game. It's not going to be that level of intensity. I'm not unrealistic, but I think our defense is going to be juiced to, because of that crowd. That we're going to get a warm reception at home. I don't know if it's going to be a sellout at home on Saturday, but the crowd's going to be loud for us, especially early. Our D line is going to get in the backfield pretty quickly. Did you see Gator number 20 pull a hammy? Yes, I did. I think that was Azza Turner. Yeah, he put a little spin move on him, and oh Oh my God. That was, I mean, look, I don't wish injury on anybody. I hope he's okay. I don't know if he pulled something or whatever, but yeah, that was pretty crazy. We keep this intensity up each week, we'll win the ACC. We keep this intensity up each week, we'll win every game. That's why I'm saying stay focused. Like, do not take your eye off the ball. Stay on track. They have the roster to do special things this year. Whole ACC looks like dog doo-doo. He didn't say doo-doo, so I'm not going to put it on the screen. But yes, plank time. I agree. But regarding the ACC, and I'll finish on this. I know it looks like the stars are kind of aligning for us because a lot of the ACC teams looked really slow out of the gate. NC State didn't look real good. FSU obviously took a big L in Ireland against Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech looks good. Virginia Tech looked bad against Vanderbilt. Clemson got destroyed by Georgia. I mean, again, I know Georgia's basically an NFL team, but Klubnik did not look good at all. I was not impressed whatsoever. It did not look like he took a step forward of any kind. So how do I feel about the ACC? I guess that's the point I'm trying to make. I don't want to get too ahead of myself. That's kind of my theme here. Don't get too ahead of yourself. I don't want to just assume, oh, they're going to suck the rest of the year. There's a lot of good coaching in the ACC. You got to remember, I've seen teams get off to slow starts in the ACC before, and then they win their last 6 or 7 games in a row. They get hot. One of those inevitably would be against us, or they beat us and then they get hot. I've seen that happen for a few teams over the years. They got to stay focused. They got to take it one game at a time. Can we beat every team in the conference? 1,000% we can. But they still got to prepare. They still got to execute and do all those things. Georgia's last 2 wins against the ACC, 100-6. Dear God. Yeah, you're right, because FSU was the last one. It was the bowl game, and then this one. Oh, my God. Yeah, Georgia is right now my pick to win the national title. I'm saying that right now. Let's see. What's up, John? You doing all right? How about the game? How about them Canes? Yeah, I'm doing great. Cannot complain at all. 148 right now in the chat. I think it hit like 150 or something at one point. Please do not forget to hit the like button. Please do not forget to hit subscribe if you have not done so already. Please support all the other content creators. We all do this for fun. We love the program. And, we do this because we don't have I want to say it was Alabama Kane. By the way, it was really cool meeting him. He's a super cool guy. Alabama Kane was telling me, listen, I don't have any other outlet to like hear Canes news or talk with other Canes fans aside from these channels. So, thank you for what you do and all that. So I appreciate that. And I feel the same way. The mainstream kind of ways to get your Canes news, you don't get what you get from us, because like certain content creators have like different connections and we can tell you different things. And for example, Flo, he tells you how it is. He's he gives you the real deal. So the people asking in the chat, I don't know if Flo's announced it. We're not having a show tonight. It's going to be tomorrow night. We're pushing it back a day. Yes, Hoodie Girl. Yeah, we're pushing it back a day. We're not having it tonight, so that's kind of why I decided to do this one today in the late afternoon. The day after, I wanted to gloat a little bit, but yes, we will be doing our show tomorrow. Probably will be 9 p.m. like usual, and yeah, it's going to be fun. I know Flo is going to talk some serious smack, as he should, and yeah, it's going to be fun, but. Just to kind of wrap things up, put a nice bow on everything. Yesterday was a massive victory for the program, for perception of the program. For Mario, it was a big signature win. This was like, as a coach, this was probably his biggest win since he was with Oregon in 2021 and he went up to Columbus and beat Ohio State the way he did. This is probably his biggest win as a head coach since then. This is bigger than A&M last year. This is, yeah, the top 3 for him as a coach, probably. But anyways, guys, take care of yourselves. Enjoy the rest of the holiday weekend. For those of you that are lucky enough to have tomorrow off, hey, enjoy your extra day off. And as always, go Canes. Have a good night, everybody.